In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make a really cute fall decoration using a piece of fabric. This fabric is cut to 11 by 13. I have an 8.5 by 11 frame. I have a piece of wool felt. This is felt that is 80% wool and 20% synthetic. And I have some chipboard letters that I'm going to use to help with this decoration. So these are the supplies that I need, along with some scissors and some glue. The first step, we are going to glue the felt to our letters. You can just trace these onto a fusible and fuse them onto your background, but I want to add this extra little thickness of the chipboard and kind of this outline of the chipboard. So I am going to glue these directly to my wool and then cut them out. So I am just using regular school glue, and I'm actually going to glue the front. So I'm going to put just some glue on here. You can also use craft glue, tacky glue, fabric glue, and I'm just using a little sponge to spread the glue on there over the whole piece. And then I'm going to put it face down on my fabric. And I'm just going to do that with all of my pieces. And I am leaving just a little bit of space, but I will be cutting these apart on the lines. All right, so I have my 4 letters on my felt, and I'm just going to give that a little bit of time to dry before I start cutting them out. And I'll just throw away my paper and my sponge. So while my felt is drying, I'm going to go ahead and put the fabric on my frame. I have taken the glass out of this frame because I want the texture of the wool to be able to pop and stand out. You can keep the glass in your frame if you prefer, but I did also keep this little insert for the back, and I am just going to place my fabric down and place this on top and simply fold it over. And because I am not sure if this is my final fabric choice or not, I'm going to just tape it down. If you want to be able to switch out your fabrics or change the frame, you can. If you want it to be permanent, then you can use glue to glue around the edges. But I'm just going to pull the top and tape that in place. And then I will go from the opposite direction and pull the bottom. Now the corners don't really matter because they're going to be hidden behind this ledge. So I'm just going to fold it. And you can see here my fabric that I'm using is Lewis and Irene Snuggle Season. I loved the colors in this because it had teal, and teal will always be a fall color in my mind. And I'm just going to tuck those under just so they're not sticking out and in the way. Now, you can certainly add more tape if you wish to help it be just a little bit tighter. right, so that is what it looks like from the front. Okay, so my letters have dried to the wool, and I am going to use these Karen K. Buckley scissors. These scissors have a micro serrated edge, so it's going to cut really easily through the felt. And the first thing that I will do is I'm going to cut my pieces apart. All right, so I have cut my pieces apart, and now I'm just going to cut as close to the edges of these chipboard as possible. So I'm not interested in the felt covering over the edges of the chipboard. I like that kind of rustic cardboard that's there. So I'm basically just using the chipboard as my template, and I'm just following along the lines of that. And having these really small scissors makes it a lot easier to get into these little corners. And then I will turn it over to the front and clean up any little edges that look a little rough. All right, so I'm gonna just continue to do this with the remaining letters. So you can see it's soft and fuzzy from my felt in the front, but I still have the chipboard on the back. I have put my fabric into the frame, and I went ahead and put the glass on the back just to help stabilize the front so it's not just that flimsy piece of cardboard. And I have cut out my letters, and I've put glue dots on the back of them, and I'm simply going to put them in place. And first I will just place them and then just line them up a little bit. And make sure my letters are straight. So I can also take a ruler to make sure I'm lining my letters up properly. And my letters are 2.5 inches from the bottom. And that will help me Make sure they are nice and straight. All right, so there is so there is my fall frame. I can just hang it up or lean it against something and add it to my fall decorations.